Portraits of American Life Study. What this is an in-depth survey of adult Americans across the nation that's run out of the Kinder Institute at Rice University. We are looking to track changes in people's lives, in how they see the world, and how they practice and go about their daily lives. We do this by tracking the exact same people every 6 years. So we first visited them in 2006 and then have revisited them in 2012. So one of the most interesting and powerful findings in change from 2006 to 2012 was in political participation. Across America, adult Americans overall declined in their participation, except for one dramatic difference, and that was for African Americans. We call this the Obama effect as we studied what was happening. As Obama came onto the scene, African Americans became more engaged in politics, not just in voting, but again, across the whole range of political participation. So this comes at a time when political parties, of course, are reassessing who their constituencies are and what their platforms are going to be for the next elections. And part of what we did then is look at some other important topics. And one, of course, hot button issue is immigration. And the experiment that we did was we asked half of the people if we used the term illegal immigrant and half we used illegal alien. What we found is it doesn't matter what term you use. What matters is that across all spectrums of Americans, whether they're Republican, Democrat, whether they are conservative or liberal, the majority support a path to legalized citizenship for immigrants that are here illegally currently and working. Over this 6-year period, we've seen a growing division along educational lines, religious lines, and age lines, so that the highly educated are more likely now to say marriage is between any two people. Lesser educated is much more likely than they were 6 years ago to say marriage is between one man and one woman. We've seen growing gaps in religion, where those who attend worship frequently are much more likely to say marriage is one man or one woman, more so than they did 6 years ago, whereas those who are not attending are more likely to say marriage is any two people. In trying to understand how people make decisions and why we have change, we look at people's individual decision making, and we asked a question about how they make their decisions. And what people said to us was overwhelmingly, I make my decision through my own personal conscience. I don't use society, I don't use God's law in particular. But there was one group that is dramatically different, a complete opposite, and that's for African Americans. About 2/3 say, when I make my decision, it's based on God's law. And so we see for African Americans, they end up being what we would define as more conservative on social issues and are making their decisions based on their usually biblical understandings. And then finally, a real dramatic change. We ask people, which religion do you most respect and which religion do you least respect? And what we found was that in 2006, 1/3 of people said, I favor all religions equally. I have no special dislike or like for any particular religion, 33%. But in 2012, 58% said that. So there was a dramatic increase in tolerance for all religions.